It's the Bonnie Ray Show. How's it going today? Today's good for me. Today, the topic is divorce and marriage. All right, people. So, what are the reasons for divorce? What are the reasons for marriage? Let's think about them for a second. I think that when two people are madly in love with each other, they get married, right? And marriage is a vow that you take to each other that you're going to spend the rest of your life with each other. Wow. Could you imagine taking that promise and saying, yes, I am going to do it. I'm going to spend the rest of my life with you no matter what. Better or worse, richer or poorer, all of that. Sickness and health. You really want to commit yourself to somebody forever like that? All right. Well, before you do, make sure. Can you just make sure that you really love this person? Anyway, it's something that our heart feels. It's something that our body feels. We know it's right. So, how many people are getting divorced after they get married? A lot. 50%. 50% of the population gets divorced. And do you know how long the average marriage lasts in America? 8.2 years. The average marriage in America is 8.2 years. Well, I've been married for 14 years, so I beat the average. And I'll tell you, in New York, they lasted longer. The average marriage in New York is 12 years. Wow, good for you, New Yorkers. Look at that. Let me tell you something. If you loved your person enough to marry them, enough to promise that you would stay with them forever, then why are you getting a divorce? You are not living up to the freaking promise that you said you would. All right, people. So let's talk about why divorce is happening. Well, what kind of expectations are you having for your spouse? Huh? What kind of expectations do you have for your spouse? They are humans. They are going to make mistakes. They are going to fall into society's pressures. They will surprise you because they might act a little differently sometimes, and you might not know why. Come on, peeps. Ask your peeps what's going on. Let's talk. Let's communicate. When somebody has an issue, the only way to get rid of it is by talking. All right. So, being married for 14 years, you already know that I've had issues. Okay? We've had issues. Of course we have. But you know what? One time, we had to seek external help. We had to go see a marriage counselor. Who wants to admit to having to go see a marriage counselor? Guess what? The marriage counselor gave us a safe place to talk to each other. And what do you mean safe? Well, sometimes it's hard to really say what's bothering you. It's hard to admit what's really bothering you sometimes to your spouse because maybe you don't want them to think of you a certain way. And if you let them know how you're thinking, maybe that opens the door for them to think of you in a certain way. But you know what? Get over your own thoughts. Those are your thoughts. Those aren't their thoughts. You want a successful marriage? Talk. Talk to your spouse. Open up the lines of communication. Don't get mad at each other when they say something. Save your marriage by talking, guys. And forgiving. A lot of divorces happen because people can't forgive. And they can't forgive themselves. If you've done something that you feel guilty about and you haven't told your spouse, tell them today. Tell them you are sorry. Tell them because when you admit to your downfall, you can move forward. It's the only way. Admitting to your downfall allows you to learn. You accept what happens and you learn from it. Easy. When you apologize to your spouse, they know that you love them. You've proven to them that you've loved them. So even this little thing that you just did, that you need to apologize for, apologizing shows that you care about the person. Don't be afraid to say, I'm sorry. It's the only thing that really works. So, just saying, 14 years of marriage, you should probably take my advice. Talk, say sorry, and forgive each other. And then end it with a hug. Maybe it'll take some time to get over the damage. But time is something that we do have here on earth.